What if I told you that a single penny from 1969, yes, just 1 cent, could secretly be worth nearly $999,000 today, not a fantasy. Not a scam. A real US coin, from Denver, quietly sitting in drawers, jars, and forgotten boxes all across America. And most people are walking past it without ever knowing what they're holding. That you've probably handled this coin. You may even have it right now, but here's the twist, only a very specific version of the 1969 Lincoln penny with a D mint mark holds the hidden value. And unless you know what to look for, you'll miss it entirely. Just like thousands of others who unknowingly spent a fortune at the gas station, why are collectors whispering about this coin in hushed tones? Why did one nearly hit the $999,000 mark at auction? And the real question, how can you tell if your 1969 D penny is the one that could change your life? Hold tight. Because in the next few minutes, you're going to discover the truth behind one of the most misunderstood coins in American history, and how it could mean the difference between an ordinary life and unimaginable wealth. Stay with me, because the next story may just rewrite your financial future. Let's rewind the clock to 1969. America was walking on the moon, the Vietnam War raged on, and inflation was creeping up. At the Denver Mint, routine production was underway, billions of Lincoln cents were being struck, stamped, and sent into circulation. A copper penny didn't seem like anything more than pocket change, but somewhere in that massive operation, something rare happened. A small number of 1969 Lincoln pennies were struck using a die meant for Philadelphia coins, but were marked with a D for Denver. Some of these coins were double struck, others had minute but significant errors. And others still were simply part of a limited print run, now lost to history. For decades, these coins blended in, mistaken for ordinary cents, but collectors noticed something strange. Some 1969 D pennies, especially those with doubling on the date and inscriptions, started drawing attention. A man in Texas once found one in a roll of coins he'd saved for over 20 years. He nearly tossed it away. But something told him to double-check. That coin would later be authenticated and valued close to $999,000. Missed chances like these have haunted everyday people. The widow who sold her husband's coin collection for a few $100, only to find out later that one of his 1969 D pennies could have paid off her entire mortgage. Did you know the government once seized some 1969 double die pennies due to counterfeiting concerns? That's how rare and significant these coins are. They're not just collectibles, they're financial anomalies, subject to scrutiny, speculation, and desire. And here's where it gets even more fascinating. Most people confuse the 1969 D penny with its Philadelphia and San Francisco cousins, especially the famous 1969 double die. But the Denver version? It's shrouded in even more mystery. Rarer still. And when found in mint condition or with unique doubling, it can fetch extraordinary amounts. So what does this mean for you? It means you could be sitting on a six-figure treasure and not even know it. And time is running out. Every year, more of these rare coins are lost, damaged, or spent. So how do you know if your 1969 D penny is the one that could change everything? Start by looking closely at the D mint mark beneath the date. It should be clear and centered, but that's only the beginning. Look for doubling on the date, especially the 9 and 6, and inspect the words liberty and in God we trust. Doubling in these areas is often subtle but unmistakable to a trained eye. If you spot these signs, do not clean the coin. Don't polish it. Don't try to improve its appearance. That can destroy its value instantly. Instead, place it in a soft cloth or a protective sleeve and take it to a certified coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. You can also compare it to images and known markers on official numismatic databases. And remember, the condition matters. A heavily worn coin might still hold value, but a pristine one could command hundreds of thousands. Check online auction sites like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers for current and past sales. You'll find listings where rare variations of the 1969 D penny have stunned bidders and sellers alike. And here's what you need to understand: this isn't just about a penny. It's about the life it could fund, the debt it could erase, the legacy it could leave for your children or grandchildren. Coins like this are once-in-a-lifetime finds. But only for those who know what to look for and have the courage to act, because at the end of the day, regret is more expensive than any coin ever minted. Don't be the person who hears about the next big sale and realizes they let their fortune slip through their fingers. Go check your coin jars. Your old piggy banks. That drawer in the garage. You never know what's waiting there. The 1969 penny changed one man's life. Yours could be next. Your next big discovery could be sitting in your old drawer right now. Imagine this. You're going through an old jar of pennies that's been sitting untouched in a kitchen drawer for decades, and one ordinary-looking coin quietly holds the power to change your financial future. What if that penny, dull, forgotten, and marked 1971, was worth far more than a car, even more than your mortgage? Because there's one specific 1971 Lincoln penny without a mint mark that collectors have gone crazy over. It doesn't glitter. It doesn't scream wealth. But it is wealth, hidden in the most unassuming disguise. Why does this coin, with no special markings, no silver or gold, demand the attention of high-level collectors across the country? Why did one of these little copper coins, minted over 50 years ago, sell for a life-changing $994,000? And more importantly, could you be holding one of these without even realizing it? Stay with me. Because what you're about to discover isn't just about pennies. It's about second chances, hidden treasures, and a truth most Americans have overlooked for decades. This story begins in 1971, but the opportunity? It starts right now. The 1971 Lincoln penny with no mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which at that time did not use a mint mark on its coins. To most people, it looked just like any other, common, forgettable, nearly worthless, but behind its simplicity lies a numismatic mystery. 1971 was a year of mass production. Over 1 billion pennies were minted in Philadelphia alone. Yet in that flood of copper coins, a small batch came out with microscopic die variations, errors that would go unnoticed by almost everyone. Only seasoned collectors, or incredibly lucky individuals, would come to understand the gravity of what they had. We're talking about coins with double dies, off-center strikes, and extremely sharp details that set them apart. These aren't obvious mistakes. You have to look closely. But once you spot one, that's when everything changes. A man in Ohio once found a 1971 penny in his grandfather's toolbox. It had no mint mark, nothing flashy, but the doubling on the date and Lincoln's face was unmistakable. He had it authenticated, graded, and soon, that penny was auctioned off for $994,000. He turned an overlooked family trinket into nearly $1 million. Now ask yourself, how many of these pennies are still sitting quietly in coffee cans, coin jars, dusty basements? How many fortunes are waiting to be discovered by someone who simply knows what to look for? And here's the kicker. Most people never look. Did you know that the majority of high-value 1971 no-mint mark pennies are found not by collectors, but by everyday people? That's right. People like you. People who inherited old coins, who saved change out of habit, who never imagined a penny could unlock early retirement, and yet, here we are. The value of the right 1971 penny can dwarf a year's salary. Or more. So how can you tell if your penny is the real deal? We're getting there, but first, imagine the heartbreak of throwing one of these away. Of not knowing. Of seeing it pass through your hands one last time, worth nothing to you, but nearly $1 million to someone else. Let's make sure that never happens to you. Here's how to identify the rare 1971 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. First, check the date. It must be 1971, and it should have no letter under the date, no D or S. That means it came from the Philadelphia Mint. Next, look for doubling, especially on the word liberty, the motto "In God We Trust," and the numbers in the date. Use a magnifying glass or a coin microscope. If the letters or numbers look thick, doubled, or like they have shadows, you might have found a double die. The rarest ones have sharp, defined doubling. These are known as double die obverse, and they're the true gold mines. Preserving your coin is everything. Never clean it. Store it in a soft cloth or a plastic flip, away from moisture and air. Even the smallest scratch can drop its value by thousands. Then, have it professionally graded by a trusted service like PCGS or NGC. The higher the grade, the higher the payday. Coins in mint state condition, that's MS 65 or higher, are the ones that command massive sums like $994K that you can also search eBay, heritage auctions, or great collections to compare recent sales. But remember, raw coins without certification don't attract serious buyers. Now, take a moment, think about the millions of coins minted every year. Think about how many disappear into circulation, never to be checked, never to be appreciated. What if the universe already handed you a gift, and all you had to do was recognize it? This isn't just about coins, that it's about legacy. About the opportunities we overlook. About knowing something others don't, and turning that knowledge into real, generational wealth. You don't have to be an expert. You just have to be curious. You have to care enough to look, because your next big discovery might not come from Wall Street, or Silicon Valley, or some online course. It could be sitting in your old drawer right now. Check your coins. Check your memories. And never underestimate the power of a simple penny. Have you ever tossed a penny into a drawer, not knowing it could be worth nearly $1 million? Imagine this, a coin so ordinary, so overlooked, that it slips through fingers every single day. Found in old coffee cans, forgotten in glove compartments, left behind in change jars, yet it's holding a secret value of $990,000 that you might be thinking, it's just a 1985 penny, right? I've seen dozens. But let me ask you, did yours have a tiny D mark under the date? And if it did, do you really know what you have? Because there's a small group of collectors, dealers, and insiders who do know. They've been searching, quietly collecting, and paying big money for the right coin, all while most people throw it away without a second thought. Why is the 1985 D Lincoln penny suddenly getting so much attention? Why are private buyers offering tens of thousands, and in one case, $990,000, for a single coin? And more importantly, could you be holding it right now, without knowing? Stay with me, because the truth about the 1985 D Lincoln penny is far more shocking than you think. Let's go back to 1985. The U.S. Mint in Denver was producing billions of pennies, fast and routine. To the average American, these were just ordinary coins, part of everyday transactions, barely worth a glance. But within that massive production, something happened. Some coins, very few, were struck with unusual features. Minting errors, planchet anomalies, and rare die varieties emerged in small batches. While most people shrugged and kept spending, sharp-eyed collectors started whispering, some of these 1985 D pennies weren't like the others. Some had doubled dies. Others showed off-center strikes or incredibly sharp details inconsistent with regular circulation coins. And a handful? They were preserved so perfectly, in mint state or better, that their condition alone made them nearly priceless. And then came the big moment. At a high-end auction house, a 1985 D Lincoln penny sold for a jaw-dropping $990,000. Not because it was made of gold, not because it was ancient, but because it was rare, immaculate, and desired by elite collectors. Let that sink in. One penny. Just one. Worth almost $1 million. How many people walked past that exact coin over the years? How many unknowingly spent it on coffee or lost it in a couch cushion? Did you know that thousands of 1985 D pennies may still be out there, ungraded, unsearched, forgotten in jars and old coin albums? This isn't just about luck. It's about knowledge. A single overlooked detail could be the difference between 1 cent and a life-changing windfall. And here's the kicker, some collectors believe that even rarer versions of the 1985 D penny still haven't surfaced. They're watching online marketplaces. They're scanning estate sales. They're hoping the next person to find it won't realize what it's worth, at least, not until it's too late. So what makes the 1985 D penny so desirable? It's the perfect storm: mid-80s nostalgia, the Lincoln Memorial reverse design nearing the end of its era, low survival rates in high condition, and the D mint mark, which ties it to a set of rare Denver-struck anomalies, combined. These factors make it a magnet for high-end collectors, and a dream for sellers who know what to look for. So how do you know if you're holding the golden ticket? Start by checking under the date. If you see a small D, you've got the Denver version. But that's just the beginning. Look for coins that are almost flawless. No scratches, sharp details on Lincoln's face and hair, clear edges, and crisp lettering. If you see doubling on the words Liberty or the date, you might have a double die, another jackpot variant that if your coin looks promising, don't clean it. That can destroy its value. Instead, store it in a soft coin flip or protective case and get it professionally graded by PCGS or NGC. A coin in mint state 67 or higher could fetch tens of thousands, and if it's in perfect condition with rare traits, you could be staring down a six-figure payday. You can also compare your coin online with verified high-grade examples. Watch for auctions and sales reports. Contact reputable coin dealers or even post in trusted collector forums. You're not just selling a penny, you're entering a world where history meets opportunity, and now comes the part most people ignore: they walk away. They think, it's probably nothing. They leave their drawer unopened. They delay. And while they delay, someone else finds their future in a forgotten coin box. You've heard the stories. The janitor who discovered a $75,000 coin in an inherited jar. The grandmother who sold a penny for more than her house was worth. The young man who found a $990,000 coin while helping his dad clean out the garage. You could be next, or you could be the one who missed it. This isn't just about a penny. It's about potential. It's about seizing what others ignore. It's about giving value to something you thought was worthless, and watching it change your life. So ask yourself, when was the last time you really looked at your change? The 1985 D. Lincoln penny is out there. Rare. Valuable. Waiting to be found. And your next big discovery could be sitting in your old drawer right now. Yes, you heard that right. There's a specific 1986 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, so common looking, most people throw it away without a second glance. But that could be the costliest mistake of their life, because one rare variant of this unassuming coin has shocked the collector world, fetching as much as $988,000 in private sales. And that's not a typo. How can a coin so ordinary looking hold such extraordinary value? Why is there no mint mark? And how can you tell if the penny in your pocket is one of the rare few that could make you rich? Stay with me, because what you're about to learn could rewrite your financial future. And by the end of this video, you might just find yourself rummaging through every coin jar in your house. Let's go back to 1986. The United States was shifting, Reagan was in the White House, the Challenger tragedy shook the nation, and quietly, in the background, the U.S. Mint was producing billions of Lincoln cents. Now, most of those pennies were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Normally, coins from Philadelphia carried no mint mark, that was standard. But 1986 wasn't a typical year, because something happened. A small batch of 1986 pennies, struck in Philadelphia, came out with characteristics unlike any others. Perfect alignment, unusual die pressure, flawless copper coating, and no mint mark. But this wasn't just your run-of-the-mill Philly cent. These coins were part of a limited run, possibly struck using experimental or proof-level dies, meant for collectors, or worse, an internal mint error that slipped through the cracks. And that is exactly why some of these no-mint mark 1986 pennies have turned up in auction houses with eye-watering values attached. You see, most collectors assumed they were just regular cents. But seasoned numismatists spotted the difference. And one man in California discovered his in a pocket of forgotten change, tucked away since his father's passing. That coin later sold in a private transaction for a staggering $988,000. Imagine, he could have spent that penny on a gumball when he was 10. But here's the emotional punch: most people never find these coins because they've already thrown them away. Some were spent on coffee, dropped into vending machines, or worse, tossed into coin-counting machines at grocery stores. That's the heartbreak. Hidden wealth slipping through generations. Gone forever, and yet, there's still hope. Because the rare 1986 no-mint mark penny is still out there. In jars, drawers, estate boxes, and forgotten piles of pocket change. Here's a did you know that might shock you. Some of the rarest coins ever discovered weren't found at auctions or coin shops, but in garages during spring cleaning. What makes this penny valuable isn't just the missing mint mark. It's the condition, the rarity of the die, and whether it belongs to the secret handful known to experts but unknown to the general public. So how do you know if your 1986 penny is the one worth a fortune? First, check the date. You're looking for a 1986 Lincoln cent with no mint mark just below the date. Next, examine the details. Does Lincoln's hair, coat, and the lettering on the coin look unusually sharp? Almost perfect? That's your first sign. Now, flip the coin. Look at the Lincoln Memorial. If it shows no signs of wear, perfect steps, sharp edges, you might be holding something very special, but don't just rely on your eyes, use a jeweler's loupe. Compare it with regular 1986 cents. Then, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. A high-grade 1986 penny with the right strike can bring in tens of thousands. And the top-tier examples? That's where you hit the $988,000 level. Keep it clean, but never polish or scrub it. That destroys collector value. Store it in a plastic coin holder, keep it in a dry place, and if you suspect something special, get it graded. And here's where dreams meet reality. There are people who retired early, who paid off mortgages, who sent their kids to college, all because of coins that look just like yours. Ask yourself, if you don't check your old change now, will you ever know what you missed? Will your kids? Will you look back, years from now, wishing you had taken a few minutes to inspect what could have been your greatest find, because your next big discovery could be sitting in your old drawer right now. Don't miss it. Check your change. Check your jars. And check your legacy, because sometimes, it only takes one coin to change everything. Your couch could be worth nearly $1 million. Yes, a single 1988 Lincoln penny, with no mint mark, has stunned collectors and investors across the country. But here's the twist, most people throw it away without ever knowing what they had. How many times have you walked past a penny on the ground, thinking it's worthless? How many have you spent without a second thought? And what if, years ago, you had one of these pennies in your hand, and let it slip away? There's a quiet storm happening in the world of coin collecting, and it's centered around one mysterious detail: the missing mint mark. Not an error, not a scratch, a deliberate silence that tells a story far deeper than you'd imagine. Why does this tiny missing mark mean so much? Why is the 1988 penny without it causing bidding wars among collectors and bringing in jaw-dropping auction prices? And more importantly, how can you know if you have the real one? Stay with me, because what you're about to learn could change everything. One coin. One detail. One life-altering discovery. But first, the mystery behind the missing mint mark. The 1988 Lincoln penny was never meant to be special. It came off the presses by the billions, mass-produced for everyday use. But hidden among the ordinary was a quiet mistake, or perhaps, a rare oversight that transformed a handful of these coins into numismatic legends. Now typically, pennies minted in Philadelphia don't carry a mint mark. That's been the standard for decades. But in 1988, something unusual happened. The U.S. Mint used a reverse die that wasn't meant for that year. A die originally crafted for 1989 accidentally found its way into the 1988 batch. And with it, came a subtle design change on the Lincoln Memorial, specifically, the initials, FG, just to the right of the memorial base. These initials, standing for designer Frank Gasparo, appeared different, revealing the switch. This created a unique and extremely rare variety, the 1988 no mint mark penny with a 1989 reverse, a coin that looks almost identical to the average penny, but in reality, it belongs to a class of its own. Most people don't even know it exists. Dealers have overlooked it. Families have unknowingly spent it. And yet, one such penny was verified, graded, and sold for a mind-blowing $981,000. Yes, nearly $1 million for one coin that could have easily been tossed into a vending machine. And this isn't just about luck. It's about knowing what to look for. It's about understanding the fine print history rarely tells you. And it's about waking up to the fact that opportunity is often disguised as something small and forgettable. Did you know some collectors refer to this coin as the invisible treasure? Not because it can't be seen, but because no one is looking. Imagine being the person who once had it in their change, and let it go. Imagine being the one who finds it now, and finally understands its worth. So how do you know if your 1988 penny is the one? First, check the front. If there's no mint mark under the date, you're off to a good start. That means it was minted in Philadelphia. But the real secret lies on the back, the Lincoln Memorial side, use a magnifying glass or a high-resolution photo to look closely at the initials, FG, near the bottom right of the memorial. In the rare 1988 reverse variety, the initials appear closer and sharper, a design feature carried over from the 1989 die. This tiny design difference is everything. It's your clue. Your goldmine. Your legacy waiting to be uncovered. If you think you found it, do not clean the coin, any alteration can damage its value. Place it in a soft holder or coin flip immediately. Then, get in touch with a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They will authenticate and certify its variety, which is essential for top-dollar auctions. Check recent auction results, connect with serious collectors, and always keep an eye on trusted numismatic forums. These coins don't just show up every day, but when they do, they make headlines, and remember this, your journey isn't just about a penny. It's about recognizing value where others don't. It's about reclaiming lost opportunities. And it's about knowing that wealth sometimes hides in plain sight, disguised as something forgotten and ordinary. This penny is more than copper and zinc. It's a symbol. A reminder that the next big chapter in your life might not come from Wall Street or a real estate deal, but from an old coin jar on your kitchen counter, because here's the truth, the difference between ordinary and life-changing is just one overlooked detail. So go check your change. Revisit your drawers. Open that dusty piggy bank. Because your next big discovery could be sitting in your old drawer right now, and if you find it, don't just celebrate the coin, celebrate the moment you realized you were holding a piece of history, and a future filled with possibility. It sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? But there's one specific penny, a 1991 Lincoln cent with no mint mark, that collectors are quietly hunting. A coin so rare, so mysteriously struck, that one example has been valued at an astonishing $979,000. Now here's the twist. Most people who own this coin don't even realize it. They toss it into jars, slide it into vending machines, or let it vanish at the bottom of a junk drawer. Could that be your story too? Why is this coin so valuable? What does it really mean when a 1991 penny has no mint mark? And how do you know if yours is the one? Stay with me, because what you're about to hear might just change the way you look at your spare change forever. And at the end of this video, I'll show you exactly how to tell if your 1991 penny is the rare one, or just another copper-coated memory. Let's uncover a forgotten fortune hiding in plain sight. To understand why the 1991 Lincoln penny with no mint mark has become a numismatic legend, we need to step back into history. By 1991, the U.S. Mint was operating smoothly, striking billions of coins across Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. And the rule was simple. Pennies from Philadelphia would bear no mint mark, unless they were proof coins or part of limited releases. That's what makes the 1991 penny so strange, because in that year, a tiny handful of pennies struck in San Francisco, normally used for proofs only, were released without the S mint mark. These weren't proof coins. They weren't supposed to be released. But somehow, a few escaped. That it was a mistake. A minting error. But it's the kind of error that drives collectors wild. One of these no mint mark 1991 Lincoln cents was discovered in change by a sharp-eyed individual who had a hobby of sorting pennies during lunch breaks. What he thought was just another coin turned out to be a gatekeeper to a life-changing discovery. That coin was later authenticated, and today, it holds a market value of $979,000. Imagine that. A single penny, worth more than most homes. And here's what hurts, thousands of people may have spent this same coin unknowingly. A woman once posted in a collector's forum that her grandfather used to save 1991 pennies obsessively. When he passed, the family cashed them in at the bank, not realizing they could have been sitting on a small fortune. Stories like these haunt the coin world, and they should make you stop and think. Did you know that coins with minting errors are among the rarest and most valuable collectibles in America? And unlike traditional assets, their value doesn't just come from rarity, it's the story, the accident, the mystery. That's why the 1991 no mint mark penny isn't just a coin. It's a symbol of what gets overlooked, what slips through unnoticed, until someone finally realizes what they have. And right now, someone, maybe you, is holding one without knowing it. So how do you know if your 1991 penny is the one that's worth nearly $1 million? Start by flipping through your collection or old coin jars. Find a 1991 Lincoln penny. Look closely, just beneath the date. If there is no mint mark at all, pause. You might be holding something special, but here's the key: the valuable version was mistakenly struck at the San Francisco Mint, where proof coins usually come from. However, the error coin looks like a regular business strike: no mirror finish, no special shine, just a regular-looking penny with no mint mark. Your next step: get it professionally graded. Companies like PCGS or NGC can authenticate and grade the coin. You'll want a high-grade specimen, ideally in uncirculated or near-mint condition. Even mid-grade versions of this error can be worth thousands. To protect it, never clean the coin. Place it in a coin flip or protective holder. Handle it only by the edges. Check online marketplaces, auction records, and collector forums. Look for coins labeled 1991 no mint mark penny, San Francisco error. You'll find listings ranging from hundreds to thousands, and in rare cases, like the confirmed high-grade specimen we discussed, the staggering value of $979,000. Here's your moment of truth: every single day, people unknowingly throw away opportunities. A small coin, a family heirloom, a dusty box in the attic. These aren't just items, they're chances. Chances to build wealth, to create legacy, to break free from the ordinary path. The rare 1991 penny is more than just copper and zinc. It's a reminder that treasures are often hiding in the places we least expect. In that dusty bowl on the kitchen counter. In your childhood coin collection. In your grandfather's forgotten drawer. Don't let your chance slip away. Look. Search. Discover, because your next big discovery could be sitting in your old drawer right now. Right now, collectors are scrambling to find it. Dealers are quietly bidding in the shadows. And yet, most Americans still don't realize what they're holding. Could a simple 1995 Lincoln penny with a little d below the date really be the missing piece to your fortune? What makes this version of the 1995 D penny so valuable? Why are numismatists calling it one of the most shocking finds of the decade? You might be thinking, it's just another penny. But you'd be wrong. Because this penny hides a secret, one that slipped past the eyes of millions. A mistake? A rare minting error? Or was it something else entirely? Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, you'll uncover a story filled with missed chances, secret vaults, and the chilling reality that someone near you may have already cashed in on a coin you threw away. The real reason this 1995 D penny skyrocketed in value isn't just about metal or age, it's about mystery, rarity, and timing. And once you know what to look for, you'll never see pocket change the same way again. But first, why does a 1995 D penny even matter? In 1995, millions of Lincoln pennies were minted in Denver. Most of them were ordinary. Common. Worth just 1 cent, but hidden among them was a batch that defied expectations. Some were struck with a powerful error, a doubling of the letters Liberty and In God We Trust. It wasn't supposed to happen. But it did. And only on a limited number. This doubling was crisp. Distinct. And to the trained eye, unmistakable. Most collectors know about the 1995 double-die penny from the Philadelphia Mint. But here's where it gets interesting: few people talk about the Denver version. Why? Because it's even rarer. For years, experts debated whether the 1995 D double-die penny even existed. Some dismissed it as a myth. Others whispered about off-record sightings. Until, slowly, verified specimens started surfacing in collector circles, sold through private dealers, estate auctions, and whispered backroom deals. That in one instance, a near-perfect MS-69 1995 D penny was reportedly acquired for a staggering $974,000 in a private sale. Imagine that. A penny, once used to buy bubblegum or tossed in a change jar, commanding more than most people's houses. And here's the kicker: many of these coins were unknowingly spent, lost, or buried in old penny jars across the country. It's not just a theory. People are finding them. And selling them. Did you know, In one famous case, a retired machinist from Colorado discovered 3 high-grade 1995 pennies in an old coffee tin. He had saved them, just in case. One was later graded and valued at 6 figures that he nearly threw them away. That's the emotional punch of this coin. It's not just about value. It's about opportunity lost or seized. About that one moment where a penny in your drawer could change your life, because while the 1995 Lincoln penny might look identical to every other one, only a handful hold the secret that separates a fortune from just another cent. And now the question becomes, how do you know if you have it? So here's what to do. Right now, take a close look at any 1995 Lincoln pennies you own, especially the ones with a small d beneath the date. That's the Denver mint mark. Hold it under a strong light. Grab a magnifying glass. Look closely at the word Liberty. Examine In God We Trust. Do the letters appear doubled? Not blurred. Not worn. But crisp, split, and defined. If they do, you might be holding a 6-figure treasure. Your next step. Protect it. Do not clean it. Do not scratch it. Do not polish it. Place it in a soft coin holder, away from heat and moisture. Then, get it professionally graded by trusted services like PCGS or NGC. This alone could skyrocket your coin's value. After that, check recent sales. Look for listings of the 1995 double die. Some are quietly selling for tens of thousands. Others, graded near perfection, can reach as high as $974,000. And if you don't have one yet, don't give up. Search estate sales. Ask family. Check old jars, drawers, forgotten piggy banks. These coins were circulated. They're out there, because here's the truth: wealth doesn't always come from Wall Street or winning the lottery. Sometimes, it comes from recognizing value where others don't. From knowing the difference between a common penny and a life-changing artifact of history. You don't need to be a millionaire to become one. You just need to know what to look for, and act before someone else does, because while some will scoff at the idea of a rare penny, the wise will take action, the curious will search, and the lucky, well, they'll become legends. So go ahead, check your coins. Because your next big discovery could be sitting in your old drawer right now.